Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the best cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. On this tier list, I got about 45 to 50 of the best cards in MyTEAM on this list. Going to probably not include quite as many of the guys as y'all would like, because there are a lot of good cards in the game right now. I just feel like there's been a lot of good content. There's a lot of new good cards. So there are some guys left off this list probably that y'all might like to hear my thoughts on. If that's the case, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. But I tried to get to a lot of guys, just trying to prevent it from making an insanely long video as well. But before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 16,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, unfortunately, AI is probably one of the guys who I was on the borderline of even including on this list, because the thing is, he's 6 foot and he doesn't have clamps. Those two things are pretty much a death sentence for a player, no matter of position or really anything else. AI has very good SIGs. He actually is a pesky defender despite the not having clamps, because he has a really high lateral quickness and off glove. But good release, off limitless range, great shot creator, great slasher, really good offensive card, but he's so undersized, kills him defensively, hurts him offensively at times as well. And the lack of clamps as well is just it's a deal breaker, especially on a guy that small. It doesn't work. And for the best of the best, these are the top 45 guys in my team. He goes in D tier. Andre Iguodala probably goes B, among the best of the best. Really good card as shooting guard. He's a great 3-and-D, but I think he's a slight tier below the guys like Kawhi Paul George, Ron Artest, Jimmy Butler, Kobe, etc. The top shooting guards. I think Iggy's a great card, no doubt. Really good 3-and-D, has a good release, elite defender, really good slasher as well, and a capable shot creator. I like the card a lot, but I still think B tier is probably fair. I think Wiggins is right on the borderline of the top 5 shooting guards, kind of the way that Iggy is at shooting guard as well, actually. I'm sorry, Wiggins more at small forward. Wiggins doesn't give you quite as much defensively as a guy like Iggy. He's not quite as much of a lock, but he's still a very good, impactful defender, and he's an elite slasher with a really good release, but also has, I think the release being nice is really nice, but I think the shot creation on him is actually pretty underrated as well. This Wiggins card can actually shot create pretty well. I think he's really nice at the 3. I honestly like him. When I did gameplay with him, I liked him better than Jason Tatum. Do I think he's better than Tatum? Probably not, but I think it's very fair to put him B tier, and I think, honestly, that's probably the same place Tatum will go. AD, I don't think is quite S, because I'm only going to have 10 guys in S. I'm not sure AD's in my top 10, but he's damn close. He might wind up getting moved up. I don't think he will, though. Very, very good card, but there are a couple guys I do believe are better. He doesn't have clamps, which is a tiny bit annoying, especially at power forward if you get matched out against more of an athletic guy at power forward, somebody like LeBron James, who is going to attack the blow by even a Giannis at times. AD's amazing, but I do wish he had that badge. Outside of that, there's not much to complain about, though. With a shoe and D'Antoni, he can tie and burst. It's better than nothing, at least. And then, obviously, his release is quite good. He's an exceptional defender. He's a capable playmaker. He can play the 4 or the 5 at a very high level. Really good card. I just think A tier is fair. Beal doesn't defend. He's not that big at point guard. His SIGs aren't that amazing. Offensively, he's not that good. I actually think I might rather use AI over Bradley Beal, so that's kind of saying something. I am not a fan of Beal either. He's just a new collected level reward. That's really the only reason I included him. I don't actually think he's very good. Brandon Roy, very, very solid still. He can get every single badge, which is a huge W, and he needs to be fully badged up with a bunch of extra stuff like clamps, anchor, interceptor, things of that nature, as well as some upgraded shooting badges to be still very, very good. But I do think with those things added, he is still an elite level shooting guard who can compete with the very best shooting guards in my team. I just think he's slightly worse than Paul George, and I think Paul George is slightly worse than Kawhi Leonard, Ron Artest, guys like that. So for me personally, as much as I like B. Roy, again, B tier is probably fair at this point among the very best of the best. I'm going to give Cade A tier because he's 6'7" at point guard with really solid movement. The point guard position is the main reason he's so high, because I do believe he's a top 5 point guard in the game still. Probably number 4 or 5 in my opinion, but back of A tier seems fair for Cade. You could argue him high B as well. Big point guard who has a good release, who can move pretty well. It's a card I actually used a pretty decent chunk, but there's a couple guys that outclass him. He's not an exceptional defender, but I do think he's very solid. I think A tier is very fair. Chet Holmgren, I'm going to go C. I just think the lack of speed kind of hurts him a little bit. He's only like 77 speed. It's not bad, but it's not incredible. He's really big, but he's not the best defender at power forward, at least on the perimeter, because he's, again, not the fastest. A little slow laterally, no clamps. But at center, I mean, the low strength hurts him there too, so there's just a couple of small flaws. I still like the card a lot. I still think he's B. He's B. I don't want to guess it, but I don't think he's higher than that. D-Rob is S, best center in the game. I don't think I need to touch on that too much in my opinion. Elite release, really good shooter while still having incredible interior interior ability, the ability to tech off the dribble pretty well, very good speed, versatility on both ends. He's an elite level card, and that's an S tier guy. I know I have a million B tiers, but I think that's where DeJounte Murray goes as well. I think he's right outside the top 5 at point guard, but I think he's a really good card, defends quite well, is capable shot creator with a nice release and a pretty good slasher. Really, really solid PG option at 6'5". Devin Booker's S tier for sure, the best offensive card in the game, the best scorer in the game. Defensively, he's capable, not insane, like a slightly better defensive Cade Cunningham, but offensively much more versatile with the best, cheesiest fade in the game. I think D-Book is the best point guard in the game currently, and definitely one of the very best cards in the game. Another guy who's one of the very best cards in the game is Giannis Antetokounmpo, elite S tier, power forward option, can play center as well at an incredibly high level. Diamond and Pink Diamond Giannis are pretty much the same card. Honestly, did not, again, mean to include both of them on this list. This is the second time I've done that, but it's only really supposed to do one because they're pretty much the same card. Diamond Giannis, slightly better stats and badges, not a huge difference maker, but the Pink Diamond does have slightly better stats and badges, but the Diamond can get some badge upgrades that the Pink Diamond can't. Can get every single badge, which is honestly, it's kind of a W, I think. It's definitely a big dub. And the Diamond, honestly, is still worth keeping and holding on to. So they're both great cards. Whichever one you have is elite. They're both S tier for sure. Hakeem's also S tier. Can get every badge. Elite big with a solid release. Can do everything on the court. I think he's slightly worse than Dira, but if you fully soup up his badges and really deck him out, he's pretty dang close for sure. Elite S tier guy as well. Harden, offensively, is amazing, but the defensive struggles hold him back a little bit. I think, honestly, him and DeJounte Murray is that's a weird debate, honestly. I think those guys are right on the same level. So they're very different. Harden better offensively, DeJounte better defensively, same size. I like both cards. I think they're both B. I think that's fair. Jared Allen, I just have nobody in C tier because I like this Jared Allen card so much. I think he's really, hold on. I hope I didn't just destroy this tier list. Please let it stay updated. Okay, cool. Jared Allen, I'm moving Harden down. I'm sorry. The lack of defense. He doesn't have clamps, and that's a killer at point guard. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. He doesn't have clamps. That hurts the card a lot. Jared Allen. That card is awesome. 63 3-ball, but he has half anchor, half immovable enforcer, half post lockdown, 81 speed, a pretty good release. It's a 6'11 center with an afro that makes him look 7'1", a 7'5 wingspan, good speed, great interior ability on both ends of the court, super athletic dunker. He's an awesome card. He is one of the very best Amethysts in the game. I think he's B. I think Tatum is also B. I explained. I think he and Andrew Wiggins are basically the same card. Both athletic wings who are good shooters. Tatum's slightly better as a shooter, but Wiggins is a slightly better shot creator, in my opinion, at least in terms of his animations. They both have great releases, and they're both elite slashers. Both of them pretty good defensively. Tatum might be a little better, but they're dang close to each other. I think both B. Jimmy is S. I definitely think Jimmy is still S. I love that card. I think he's elite. I think the ability to get every badge on the Pro Pass version is huge, but even the non-Pro Pass version is still very, very good. He shot creates quite well, and he's an exceptional defender with a really solid release. He's also really athletic. Kind of does everything on the court at a high level. That's a great card. Joe Johnson can get every badge. That's really the only reason he remains in C tier, because honestly, I'm not that high on the card. He was a disappointing Gauntlet reward, to be honest. I'm not going to spend too much time on him. Definitely C. Also, JLL Embiid, I kind of think is kind of mid as well. I think he's C tier. Honestly, he and Jared Allen are pretty close, though, because Jared is a little faster, but Embiid's a little better shooter. Ratings-wise, Jared's release, I'd say, is slightly better maybe, but that one's debatable. Defensively, they're pretty similar. They're similar, but honestly, I don't like Embiid as much as I like Jared Allen right now. I'm putting Embiid in C, and I'm leaving Jared in B, and y'all can cry about it if you disagree. Another C-tier player, speaking of, is John Wall. 6'3" at point guard, so a little undersized, defensively good, great slasher, but there are better PGs at this point. Guys like DeJounte Murray, obviously, I think are definitely better, as well as Cade and other guys like that. Not to mention the very top PGs in the game. One of whom I do think is kind of Drew Holiday. He's high A. He's not S, but he's high A. The best defensive point guard in the game with a very good release. Moves quite well as well, and he's even a decent slasher. He's an awesome card. People kind of sleep on Drew Holiday simply because he is definitely not the biggest name of the Diamonds that we got last week. When you get Devin Booker and Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard and Jason Tatum, you're not going to pay as much attention to a Drew Holiday card. But he's incredible. He's A tier for sure. Another guy who's pretty high up is Kareem. Some people would have Kareem over Hakeem. I just think, especially a badged out Hakeem, is just better. Kareem, kind of like Jared Allen, honestly, just doesn't shoot the ball that incredibly well. Only a 62 3-ball, whereas Jared has like a 63. So they're pretty similar in that aspect. Both can hit wide open with consistency if you know their releases, but it takes a little bit of practice to get them down and to get good at it. Impactful defensively, though, is an understatement for Kareem. He's 7'2". He's an elite master. He might be the best pure pick and roll card in the game right now. Really, really like him as a roller. He's an awesome, awesome card, and I think A tier for sure. Kawhi Leonard is... oof. We got 6 guys in S tier so far, so Kawhi would be a 7th. I'm looking at this list, and I see an 8th and a 9th for sure, and then I look at the rest of the list, and I think Kawhi is number 10. I do believe. I think he is the lowest of the guys in S tier so far, at least over a badged out Jimmy. I would take over Kawhi. Kawhi, I think I take over a base Jimmy, but Kawhi is just amazing 3-and-D, decent shot creator, pretty fast size of escape. I will say that. He bursts pretty well. He's an athletic wing. He's got great length and great size with a good release, and defensively, he's an absolute menace. One of the very best defensive cards in the game. Great card still. KD is probably, I'll give KD A because of the 6'10 and the ability to hold every single badge at power forward, the versatility offensively, being able to still burst and attack. I mean, overall, I think he's going to be really good. I really do. I think KD is going to be an awesome card, and or not going to be. I think he's still a very good card, I should say. Definitely A tier. He's got to be badged up to be A tier is the key, though. I'm going to be honest, because if he's not badged up, I still think he's kind of B. So it just depends on if he's badged or not. But I assume if you have KD, you've probably badged him out at this point. So I would say A. KG. High A, borderline S. Oh, it's so close to an S, but he doesn't play make. That's the one thing he doesn't really do, and he's not quite as good at center as a guy like Hakeem. D-Rob play makes better than KG, and he's just a better card. I think Kawhi at shooting guard is more impactful and a little better than KG at power forward. KG is probably the 11th guy, the guy who's going to miss out on the S tier in my opinion, but I think he's an awesome card. Oh, never mind. KG can play S tier because Giannis, I don't have to include both versions of Giannis. That's only one player, so we only have 7 with KG in there. So never mind. KG is an S tier card, still an elite power forward. He does get that last S tier spot. The best card in the game is Kobe Bryant. He is S tier for sure. Nobody really has this card though until Friday because he's not pullable. He's only pullable in packs until then, when you can actually lock in, finally get all the cards to lock him in. And Kobe's an elite card. I mean, he's awesome in every aspect. He's the most complete badge-wise card in the game, maybe the most complete statistical card in the game with an elite release and great animations. He's one of the best of the best. I do believe Lamar Odom's actually pretty good. He's a 6'10 power forward with a good release who defends okay, pretty athletic, gets every badge. I think he's actually pretty good. Him and KD are both very similar cards, to be honest. I would put them both back of A tier. I think they're both actually really solid. And get slept on a little bit, to be honest. I understand. Well, with that being said, Lamar Odom as a reward, very hard to get because 12 unlimited games in a row is just dang near unachievable for a lot of people. Number 2. He's just, for something that hard to do, he should have been way better than he is. And that's the problem. Not that he's a bad card, because he's not. He just should have been better. LeBron, one of the very best cards in the game, of course, gets every single badge, insane stats and badges all the way around. Incredible slasher, elite release. I mean, not elite release, but a good release. And he does everything else in the court incredibly well. He even play makes pretty well this year. I really like LeBron a lot. I'm very high on that card. Lonzo's great defensively, but offensively kind of mid. I think he's the best card in C tier, though. I will say that. I would definitely... He's probably, no, I'm looking at the rest of this list, and I don't know how many of these guys I'd take over Lonzo. I want to have a couple guys lower down, so I'm going to put Lonzo C. Going to put Luol A, elite small forward, power forward defender, capable enough offensively with a really good release, actually, and pretty good shot range. And, I really like this Luol Deng card. He plays in a lot of lineups. I mean, is he better than Lamar and KD? I think probably, unless those guys are super badged out. So I really like the card. Magic's 6'9", but that's about it. He's C tier. I'm not that high on Magic at all. Defensively, MJ is incredible, which is enough to kind of salvage a little bit of value out of the card because he's also a really good slasher and shot creator. He just doesn't shoot that well. That's his biggest flaw, honestly, is that his release is pretty baited out of position where it's really important to have a good release. So that holds him back a lot, which is why he's all the way down in C tier, but I still think he does some things incredibly well on the court, and an MJ with a better release would be elite. Very back of B tier for Nick Young. Very back because of how capable and good he is offensively with his elite release. And really good shot creation ability as well. Amazing escape, great slashing, shooting, and playmaking ability. Just doesn't defend incredibly well, which is why he's pretty low on the list despite being one of the better offensive cards in the game. He's one of the worst defensive cards on this list, so that holds him back a good chunk and puts him only in B tier. I think Siakam's on the same level as Chet. Really good card at power forward. He's only 6'8", but he does defend quite well. Versatile defender with the ability to shot create a little bit. Can guard on the perimeter and the interior at a high level. Pretty good release. I like Siakam. I think he's really a darn good card. I think Paul George is still very solidly A tier. He's not the best shooting guard in the game or even top 3 anymore, but I still think he's probably top 5. Great release, athletic. At one of the strongest positions in the game, he's still one of the better cards in my team, still an elite option. And he's got the size 6'8", where he can play small forward at an incredible level as well. He's still a top-tier guy, still really good. Penny Hardaway, also really good. Probably the 4th best point guard in my team, in my opinion. I think Cade is just a slightly worse version of Penny, to be honest, but Cade does have a slightly better release. Penny's release is not incredible, but he's 6'7", with a good release and a good movement. Okay release. Slash as well, defensively impactful, really versatile card, does everything on the court very well. I wouldn't say he's incredible in any specific area, but he's a really solid all-around card. I think Ray Allen is honestly C tier. I'm just not that high on the card. He doesn't shot create that well. His release is good, but not insane. And defensively, he's fine, but not incredible. A little undersized at shooting guard at only 6'5". I'm not that high on the card, especially when you can get a guy like Ron Artest, who's right near the top of A tier, who is also 183,000 in T, same price as Ray Allen, and a much better card, elite defender with better size, really, really good release as well, and super athletic. Shot creation is solid as well. He's one of the very best cards in A tier, and one of the better cards in my team, in my opinion. I think Rudy Gay probably goes B. Defensively, he's not the greatest, but offensively, he's a really good slasher with a great release. I do believe he's still a very solid card, and I think that's a really good spot to put him. I think Russ is very high C, a little undersized at only 6'3", and he's not the greatest shooter, but his release is okay. He does have silver limitless range, which is nice. Defensively, he is a very, very solid point guard, even if he is small, and his D-book dribble style is very, very nice. He's an exceptional slasher. Still a very good card. SGA does get the final S tier spot as the 10th guy in that S tier. Really, really good card in my team. Slashes very capably. When he's fully badged up, he's where he becomes really good, because it helps him to become much more impactful on the defensive end of the court. He has a great release already. Already has very good movement and MJ dribble style, but becomes a lot better of a shooter with added shooting badges like Limitless Range and Agent 3. Playmaking badges getting upgraded helps him out a lot as well, and just getting a fully badged point guard with great animations this early in the game is super duper nice. Shaq is so darn mid. I don't care. And I don't care. I'm putting him D tier, and that means I'm putting Wilt D tier as well. I don't care. I do not care. I'm done. I'm done using inside centers. If you can't shoot the ball at all, you can't play for him anymore. It's not happening. It kills your spacing so much. I don't care how impactful they are defensively. I understand they're still some of the better quote-unquote cards in the game, barely top 10 at the center position, whatever. I wouldn't use them personally at this point. If you like the cards, that is great for you. I don't. Same thing with Tony Kukoc. I like his release. He's an okay-ish shot creator at power forward, but he's 6'10". He's not a great defender, and he doesn't have clamps. So he doesn't guard on the perimeter or in the interior at that high of a level. While I don't think he's a bad card, I'm honestly going to put him D tier as well. And like I said, Giannis is also S tier, but I have the pink diamond then already, so I'm not going to stack two of them in there and have the tier go too big. So as a whole, this is my tier list right now. A little top-heavy, but let me know what y'all think of the list in the comment section down below. And if there's anything you would change, feel free to let me know. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.